Hello, everybody, and welcome into the 14th episode of Mother's Jail, our first episode of Chapter 4, Back to the Fray. Our session title tonight is Kaldanesh, City of Dreams. Last time, when we all got together, the party arrived at Bellis Raka, having saved Kelsey from a grim fate, but unfortunately at the cost of losing Thermal. You were able to reunite Kelsey with her wife, Lysel, and while there spoke with the guard captain, Captain Starsong, who probably sort of has a crush on Varys and is just waiting for Carmen to die so she can make her move.
Oh, I forgot about
Yikes.
that.
Yeah, basically.
How old is she?
How old is Captain Starsong?
Yeah.
She's in like her 70s or 80s.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I mean, elves can live to be about 140, so yeah. It might work out.
Maybe.
That said, Varys doesn't age, so
I'm
you
shooting.
know.
I'm rooting for you, Carmilla.
For Carmilla?
Sorry,
Or
not Carmilla. Sorry, Carmen.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hang in there. I mean, listen, Carmen in my mind is like the Queen of England. She's gonna live 1,000 years before she died. I guess that joke made more sense like 6 months ago.
I almost do, I think now.
Has it really been that long?
Has it been?
I don't know.
Time.
So, after having a talk there, you all hopped an airship over to Mitra Primus. A couple things happened overnight, however. One was that Aruna visited Brayley in the night, revealing her true form to her, showing that she was unlike anything that, well, any of you have ever seen before. She had longer fingers with an extra digit in them. She has cat-like eyes and a crown, almost a circlet of bone that kind of grows up underneath the skin and peeks out in little horns around like a circlet. She is a very unique-looking individual. They had some fun that night, and in the morning, when Aruna returned to Nova, the two of them had a bit of a falling out as Nova started dealing with some feelings, which is something that she's not used to having anymore.
Nope.
And she said something that, whether she intended it or not, was very hurtful to Aruna, and Aruna left and has not been back since.
And Nova's fine.
And Nova's fine. Nothing's
Important.
wrong.
Nothing's
She's
wrong.
not at all taking that badly.
It's fine.
You made your way to Mitra Primus, where you were introduced to Cheyenne, the daughter of Kelsey and Lysel, who is, much like Kelsey, an extremely bright girl. You also got to meet Prioress Vicenzia Larksheart, who is indeed the sister of Ramiel, and who bid you welcome and gave her most sincere apologies to Lysel for the loss of some of their crew and of their ship. You talked at length about the nature of who you are and what you feel, and that's kind of where we left off, was with the two of you talking, and it's pretty much where we're going to pick up. So smiling pleasantly, Prioress Vicenzia leans over as an aide speaks to her. She nods and then looks back out at all of you. Miss Raynor has offered to let you stay with them tonight. I'll grant you leave from the palace to go stay there if you like. If you would be so kind, please deliver this letter to Kelsey in my stead. It's a official commission as a commander in the Gloriandan Sky Navy, as well as orders to go to Jet's Ambition and serve as our ambassador there. We have precious little to offer in the way of upholding our pact, but I hope it will not be overlooked when I say I am sending you what is without a doubt our most gifted mind.
Ramiel is going to bow very low and go, as as generous as Captain Rayner's offer is, I think I'd like to hear more of those stories. If the prioress would so indulge this rather ignorant person.
She considers that for a moment. Actually, Ramiel, I wouldn't mind if you stayed. There is something I would like to show you. I will have you return to Kelsey's home, however, before curfew tonight.
Of course, if that's to everyone's if that's okay with everyone. I kind of like glances over at the rest of them.
I'd say that's fine.
Do what you wish.
Yeah.
We will.
By the way, note for people watching, Braylee has lost her voice, so we're just gonna try and bear through it tonight.
She had a great time.
She nods and gives the letter to Ayla. This is, as I say, for Kelsey.
I'll make sure she gets it.
Thank you. And she watches as you all leave. And indeed, the four of you are taken back down to the dock where you had entered and are provided with an air skiff to take you over to Kelsey's home. As the prioress watches the rest of them go, she turns her attention back to you, Ramiel, and nods. Her aide, an elven woman in her 20s, slides around behind and begins to push the prioress down towards the main hall, and keeping pace as you walk alongside Ramiel.
Ramiel would actually slow his pace down and keep his with her speed.
That's fine. At the end of the hall, you move on to a platform which then begins to lower down into the tower. And as it stops, you pass through an archway out into a massive, beautiful garden. Flowers and shrubbery of all sorts grow here, and the smell of pollen hangs heavy in the evening air. Throughout the garden, you see a number of enclosures about the size of cottages. Each is marbled or made from marbled stone with stained glass windows, and it only takes a moment to recognize that these are family tombs or crypts. She doesn't say anything as she is brought over to one in particular, and the aide stops and goes up to unlock the door for you both to enter. The aide bows her head politely and says, I will wait out here. If you need anything, just holler. And the prioress glances up at you. If you wouldn't mind.
Not at all. And he's going to take the aide's place and slowly push her in.
Within, you see a series of pedestals with alternating flowers and candles on them, but what draws your eye immediately is a painting on the southern wall of the tomb. It shows a woman whom you vaguely recognize as your mother from the earliest memories that you have. She has an infant boy in her arms, and a younger Vicenzia is sitting in a chair next to her. To the left of the woman is a massive draconic individual with fins running down the sides of his head and down his back. And in front of him is an adult woman, though still young. She appears to be a hybrid of an elf and a dragonborn, with fins where her pointed ears should be, and scales covering much but not all of her body. She has long elven hair, and notably the same eyes that you, Vicenzia, and Casella all have.
Ramiel would actually stop and just kind of like stare at this portrait and just kind of like note in particular just kind of like glancing from Prioress Casella to down to the children, and then to Azir, who he presumes this is, and just kind of like looks at the children as well. And he's gonna continue pushing the prioress over until
Yeah, there's not far to go in here. It's a relatively small building. But she waits quietly and lets you just kind of examine the picture and look at it for a long moment before she exhales through her nose. It's one of the only times I can ever recall all of us being in the same room. The people of this city have taken to calling this the empty tomb. 4 inurnments, yet no remains in any of them. And indeed, as you look over at the wall beneath the painting, you see the names on the placards, 4 of them. Azure, second-born of Dragon, Casella Larksheart, Shizu of the Azure, and Ramiel Larksheart.
Ramiel's gonna stride over and just place just tender fingers running over the names.
She again waits patiently and watches. Eventually she gives a soft sigh. I gave your eulogy, though I had only seen you a few times as an infant. What do you say about a child who is no more than 4 or 5? The injury that I suffered has ensured I will never bear any children of my own. I had thought mine would be the first and last remains to grace this tomb before it was sealed. But I brought you here because I have to know. Should I have that name struck off? Does Ramiel Larksheart yet live, or did he die in the razing of Moon Bay?
Ramiel kind of looks at the names as she speaks. His back is to her. Small pause before he turns around. Prior to coming to Mitra Glorianta, I had a brief crisis regarding a similar matter. After all, it's quite hard to believe that I am not who I thought I was. And it wasn't until a conversation with a very good friend of mine that I realized it wasn't really that complicated, if anything. I grew up as Ramiel. First, a made-up name with the Videnizim lineage, hailing from Terracin. Some sort of moniker I decided to adopt, coming to Mother's Jail. I was adopted as all the rest, one of the first children to leave Evelyn's promise, be the embodiment of that promise. And coming to Mitrascala, I discovered that I was Prince Indigo, as the birth name was given to me. And now I'm a Larksheart.
Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. The thing should say Indigo Larksheart, not Ramiel.
Yeah. There are many sides to a person. One individual isn't one-sided. One trait does not define them. And I would say I'm all of that. I am Ramiel Larest, adopted son of Melody of the Ivory and Ashira of the Scarlet. I am Indigo Larksheart, youngest of the Larkshearts, son of Azure and Friaress Casella,
That you are.
though it is not a name I feel I am worthy of at the moment.
As someone who has been serving as the prioress for 20 years here, allow me to go ahead and tell you that that never changes. You will never a day in your life feel worthy of it.
I don't know if you seem to be doing a bang-up job as far as leading.
And yet I still don't feel worthy of it. She kind of chuckles to herself. Well, the people will be overjoyed to know that the prince yet lives. Though I suppose that, given your predilections, I guess the bloodline's still going to end with you and I, huh?
He just kind of like raises an eyebrow at that.
I don't understand what you're trying to imply here.
She gives a long look. I'm implying you're unlikely to knock anyone up.
And at that, he turns very, very red and goes, "Oh, oh, God's right. Well, certain preferences certain preferences are an unfortunate circumstance as far as continuing bloodlines go, I suppose. But there's always the option to adopt. And after all,
you can see that she started to laugh. She is clearly enjoying this.
did Lady Eastbrook make mention of this?
She may have mentioned that you were interested in a particular one of her captains.
I don't know if interest is the appropriate word for that.
That's fair. That's not the word she used. But in polite company, it's the word I'll use.
I'll make sure. It was more of there were a lot of emotions, high charged emotions that were running, and yeah.
Yes, I heard all about it.
Oh, this is turning very awkward indeed.
Yep. Anyway,
Yep.
maybe we won't spend any more time in a crypt. I dared not hope when I woke up this morning that I wouldn't be the last of my line when I went to bed. It's good. It's good to know you.
Well, it would be an honor to get to know my elder sister.
She takes you down to dinner, and as one would expect of a prioress, you get a pretty nice meal. Not extravagantly so. She would not really go for that, but it's a good meal. And she spends the entire time telling you stories, just anything she remembers from when she was younger, what your mom was like, what your older sister was like, what she was like. She doesn't have very many stories about Azure because she didn't see very much of him. He was not around very often. she really only knew Azure through Shizu, who was for certain Azure's favorite.
Daddy's girl. I get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally in some ways.
Mm.
She is notably the only one who does not use her elven last name. She goes by Shizu of the Azure. So, meanwhile, while that lovely family reunion is happening across town, the air skiff ride over to the home of Kelsey Rayner is about 30 minutes to the southern end of the Tinkerer's District, not far from the Primus air dock where you entered the city. Her home is on the 74th floor of a tower there, and the air skiff is able to dock on the large balcony outside the main room of their home. As it does, Lysel steps out onto the balcony, pulling a woolen wrap around her and bowing politely as you all arrive. Welcome to our home, she says. It is cold up this high. I mean, it's already cold on Mitra Glorianda up this high, but now you are 74 floors up in one of these towers, and it is real cold. We're talking like mid to low teens.
Is she headed towards it?
She is standing on the balcony near where you all docked.
She's fucking waiting around for us. Excellent. Just what we want in this situation.
Well, she walked out to greet you when your ship landed.
Okay. I'm sure it's quite lovely, but we wouldn't want to catch a chill now, would we?
Of course not. Please come in. And she invites you into her rather sizable home. It is fairly modern by the standards that all of you are used to. There is running water and plumbing all the way up the tower because there has to be. Otherwise, you got to go down 74 floors.
That is a structure only feasible.
And there is also heating in all of the homes, which is very necessary this high up. In fact, you're all kind of shocked as you step in how pleasant it is inside. It's like, I'm not saying it's hot, but it's like 60, 70 degrees inside. It's nice, especially compared to outside where it's not nice. There is a dining room and a kitchen, as well as 2 bedrooms. There's a bathroom in this place, a workshop that Kelsey has clearly repurposed, and there are some guest rooms here as well. So it's a sizable home. Like the whole floor of this tower is their home. So Lysel gives a soft smile. We've got a couple of guest rooms available, and Cheyenne is going to sleep with us tonight, so you can take her room as well. That should be, I hope, enough for the 5 of you. If anyone needs to sleep on the couch out here, they are welcome to.
I'm sure it will be quite fun. It is, in fact, very lovely.
Thank you. We don't get to spend nearly as much time in it as we would like, but Kelsey's...
Such is life sometimes, I'm afraid.
Yes. Kelsey's creations have made us a not inconsiderable amount of money.
So this is rich accommodations, not most people's?
I would say that this is... I don't know what the term they would use, but like she's going to describe the upper middle. This is not lavish or wealthy by any stretch of the imagination in Mitra Glorianda, but it is nicer than many people live.
I see.
In many places, one of these floors would be broken up into 2 or 3 homes, for comparison point. But please make yourselves comfortable. We'll be having dinner in a little while. She kind of fidgets a little bit. Kelsey is doing what she does when she doesn't want to face her emotions. She's in her workshop, but I'm sure she'll join us for dinner. In the meantime, though, just feel free to make yourselves comfortable. And, yeah, I'm going to go prepare dinner.
Thank you.
While we wait, could we get some tea or some other light beverage?
Absolutely. I won't say that the tea that we're able to grow up on Mitra Glorianda is the best by any stretch of the imagination, but I might have something that's worth serving to guests. She chuckles and goes to prepare it. And you are all left in this effectively living room. It's got 2 sprawling out couches, effectively, and there is a fireplace in here, which is nice and toasty. There is a large, what looks like a deer skin rug on the ground. It's quite nice. There is also random bits of, you're not sure what, machinery lying around the place, things that clearly Kelsey was working on at some point and then got bored of working on and just sat down and didn't pick back up.
Scraps.
Yeah, there's a lot of that around.
Careful not to step on it. It will hurt like a Lego.
It would definitely be Lego-esque in nature, yes.
And how many bedrooms are available?
There are 2 guest rooms available, and then you'll be able to have Cheyenne's room as well, because Cheyenne's going to stay with her parents tonight.
Okay. Yeah. Nova will just kind of sit at one of the couches. You can all take the rooms. I can use this for tonight.
If you're quite sure. I can't speak for any of the others, but I don't mind sharing.
I don't mind. Go ahead. When Ramiel comes, I'm sure we can figure something out.
Briley's gonna plop down the other side of the couch. Nova, I can take the couch. Sometimes I talk in my sleep and I don't want to freak anyone out.
Oh, it's fine. We can, whoever wants their rooms, can go ahead and take them, and we shall see what Ramiel wishes. Besides, you can probably have your own room at that point. But yeah, Noah's just gonna kind of sit on the couch. I know, Ayla, you had a letter to give to Kelsey.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's probably what Ayla does before anything else.
Okay.
Knock on the workshop.
You knock at the workshop, and there is no response at the door.
I think Ayla gives it a second, then, alright, Kelsey, look, I'm a delivery girl, not the messenger girl, and I have something for you.
You hear Lysel call over. Good luck. She's, when she gets in this mode, she can be hard to get through to.
Oh, wait.
An hour later, you've all been provided a cup of tea. It is actually quite good. But Layla, you recognize it immediately. This tastes a bit like home. This blend of tea comes from your continent. Because in the cold climes of Mitra Glorianda, they cannot grow very good tea.
No, I will certainly compliment her on it.
But after about an hour, you're all called up for dinner, and you make your way into the dining room where a lovely meal has been put out. There's a salad prepared as well, which I know, Brayley, you're not super excited about anymore. There is also...
It's more bacon bits.
There's also a dinner of roasted chicken with vegetables and rice. You all... Oops, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, Brayley's gonna eyeball the chicken and like look at everyone sitting at the table, be like, is there more meat somewhere?
Well, no. Sorry, do you need more meat?
I'll deal.
Okay.
Or
You can have
diet
my
as
portion of it.
Brayley's like eyeballing the veggies and stuff. She's like,
Just sort of side eye. And tell you what, I will again trade you my portion
Oh,
for
it's
your
been a little weird
salad.
for me to, eat things that also have wings.
Mm. Yeah, she didn't think about that, and she looks a little embarrassed as you speak up about that. She's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even think about that."
It's fine.
we would never
Really?
eat you, Ayla.
I wasn't worried about that until you said something about it.
Well, didn't somebody at this table already do that?
Oh my. It's a moment later when Cheyenne walks into the kitchen and everybody minds their manners and doesn't say things like that. As Cheyenne makes her way over to her spot at the table and hops up and looks around. Oh, you're all here.
Surprise.
Hi.
Howdy.
Mom said you might be coming.
we will be staying the night, if that is all right with you.
Yeah, they said I have to give up my room tonight.
They're quite generous.
Yeah,
And it's
tell
lovely
me about
to
it.
see you again.
It's nice to see you too. She gives that sort of like polite smile that suggests that she doesn't know if she's about to get a present or not. So she's being really nice just in case she is.
How old is she again?
8.
Okay.
Yeah.
She looks around. Where's Mom? And Lysel groans. Just a moment. And she goes over and opens the door to the workshop and descends down into it. It's a moment later when Kelsey comes upstairs and she has, you're not sure what in her hands, but something she's still working a screwdriver at as she makes her way over to the table, or is guided over to the table, I should say, and sits down. Hello, everybody. I'm so sorry. I was just trying to get something finished up, and I must have lost track of the time.
It is no problem. It is
It's
good you're here now.
Yes, just let me set this
Right
down.
on.
And she sets it down on the side table, and she's like, okay, I won't forget about it there. You get the sense she will definitely forget about it there.
Mood.
Looks delicious. Thank you. And she's like, does it look delicious enough to wash your hands before you eat it? And Kelsey gets up and goes to clean up real quick.
hygiene is very important.
Lysel gives you a look. Isn't it, though? I would like you to say that again when she gets back. I would love that, actually. And actually, Cheyenne, please take note of that. Because of the two of us, I would very much like for you to take after me on that one. And Cheyenne nods. Yeah, I don't like gross fingers. Ew.
Brayley looks at her own hands like, when was the last time I washed them? She's just trying to remember.
What is this washing you speak of?
Kelsey returns a moment later, and the food is divided up. Brayley, you are given an extra portion of chicken. And everyone starts to eat. And it is I don't know how many of you are used to like a family dinner. You can tell me if your character is really used to it. I think Brayley and Layla, you're probably somewhat used to it. Nova and Ayla, I think less so.
Yeah, especially with the tea, there's a lot of home echoes
Yeah.
going on.
And that's kind of what this is. Like, Kelsey is very curious about, like, Cheyenne's schoolwork and what she's learning while they've been gone and is trying to get caught up on things like that. Whereas Lysel is much more just kind of making sure everything goes well at the dinner table. And, but you all have a very nice meal together. When the meal is done, Lysel smiles. Would anyone care for dessert?
Yes.
Excellent. Well, just one moment. I've got a pie that I made with some locally grown berries. And we do have ice cream, if that is something that you're interested in. Do they have ice cream where you come from? Or is that a Gloriandan thing?
Do they?
No, I would say. Well, sorry. Ayla, they do for you. And if Ramiel was there, they would for him as well. Because on Terracin and then specifically in Moon Bay, they do.
It exists on Terracin.
I do not know what ice cream is.
I think a round of ice cream for everyone, then. I think you'll all like it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who's very excited about it is Cheyenne, who is bouncing in her seat a little bit. She did not take it particularly well, learning that her godmother had passed away, but like most 8-year-olds, she'll deal with that later.
There's sweet treats to be had for now.
Right now, ice cream takes priority, yeah. So you're all brought out...
What is that concept?
You are all brought out a bowl with a cold sweet cream in it. And, well, it's up to you whether or not your characters like it or if it's too sweet for them.
I think Nova eats it kind of curiously.
It is vanilla, as chocolate would be very hard to come by up here. But.
And then takes a few more bites, and then squints. And holds their head.
Oh, yes. Rub your tongue on the top of your mouth. That'll make that pass.
What is that?
This is delightful.
Oh.
I'm glad you like it. It was made here on Mitra Glorianda quite a while ago.
Inside, Nova's just thinking everything is pain.
Everything hurts.
Everything hurts.
The tasty thing hurts.
Even the tasty thing hurts me. Anyway.
What betrayal?
But yeah, you all enjoy your dessert. And then, yeah, you're just talking around the table at that point.
I think probably about now is when Ayla will go, okay, so I tried to give this to you earlier, and I don't know when it's going to be a better time. So she'll hand over the letter.
Kelsey blinks and takes it, and then she exchanges a look with Lysel before she looks at Cheyenne. Cheyenne, honey, why don't you go into your room and grab your favorite book, and I'll be in to read to you in just a moment, okay? And Cheyenne nods, and she hops out of her chair and waves goodnight to you all before heading over to the bedroom. And Kelsey opens it and reads the letter. Her eyebrows furrow as she seems to contemplate in her mind for a long moment. They want to make me a commander in the Gloriandan Air Navy and assign me as their ambassador to the Children of the Deep in Jet's ambition, she says. Lysel immediately looks up from where she is in the kitchen, a complicated look on her face. We just got back. We can't impose on Miss Shaleport again, she says. Kelsey nods. This would be a long-term assignment. We couldn't leave Cheyenne. She would come with us. Does anyone have a passive perception of 16 or higher?
Yes.
Not even close.
Nope.
Layla and Brayley, you both kind of see Lyselle's hands go down in front of her and start fidgeting nervously. But she doesn't say anything. Kelsey considers it for a long moment, just closing the letter and thinking. We have a part to play, and we shall play it, she says, and looks to you all. When you return to Jet's Ambition, tell them we'll be along shortly. This gives me the authority to assemble a new crew for a new ship, and it just so happens I have a favor or 12 to call in with my sister.
Your sister
We'll
here.
pass the message along.
No, I will have to go pick her up on Rest Hearth, but we'll be there when we do.
You have family all over the world.
They do like to travel.
Given the nature of your transportation, would it be too much to impose a letter of my own?
To Rest Hearth?
Yes, that is where I'm from.
Oh, apologies, I didn't realize. Yes, of course I could take a letter to Rest Hearth for you.
Thank you.
Lyselle, I think at this point, she doesn't storm out of the kitchen to go to her room, but she definitely leaves in a hurry. And Kelsey looks over with entirely too much look of confusion on her face. Yes, why don't you go ahead and write that letter and make sure you give it to me before you leave in the morning, and I'll make sure it gets there. And she goes after Lyselle.
Feels like we have dropped upon some sort of family drama.
Yeah, I suddenly feel like I maybe should have given that to Lyselle instead.
You were told Kelsey, right?
Ramiel, you arrive around this time, having had a nice night with your sister, getting caught up and learning some stories and some things of that nature. You arrive to this very nice home, and your allies are still around the dining table talking, but Lyselle and Kelsey don't seem to be around.
Oh, I seem to have missed dinner. Or at least the Rayna dinner. Yeah.
Yes, there are some food, but if you want chicken, I'm afraid it's gone.
Brayley is sitting there just rubbing her tummy like,
I think I am quite okay with that.
There is also something called ice cream. It hurts your head. At least it hurt my head.
Ramiel, you know very well what ice cream is. It's popular in Moonbay.
What sort of what sort of flavor do they have?
Vanilla.
It is white with black dots. I do not know what that means.
That's vanilla. Would they also happen to have some kind of a pastry to go along with it? Quite particular with the a la mode, as we like to call it.
What?
A la mode. It's when you have ice cream and some sort of pastry. It's supposed to be a contrasting texture for the mouthfeel, with the creaminess coming from the ice cream and the flakiness and sort of bready texture coming from the pastry. So you can have it with the pie, you can have it with some other kind of other flaky substance, but I like it with a pie.
He talks a
myself.
lot.
It tastes
Says-
good with
Yes.
chicken.
Yes, he does.
Says Cheyenne's voice, as she has apparently come back out at some point.
With a straight face, Nova looks to Ramiel and goes, "No, you have that at home." And turns to look at the little
Ayla
girl.
is doing a very bad, she's trying to, look like she doesn't know what that is, but she definitely knows what that is.
What are you doing out here?
Oh, sorry. They said I should come read out in the living room, because they needed to talk.
Ah. Well, what sort of book are you reading right now?
Oh, this is one that is about alchemy and how different elements interact.
and Ramiel kind of like blinks and goes, "That's something that you just read for recreational purposes?"
Mm-hmm. This is one that's really interesting to me. It's not as much math as I would like it to be, but it's pretty interesting. I like that you can make certain elements into other ones, just by adding heat or making it really cold.
Oh, I didn't
Well,
realize
you certainly do
was-
take after your mother.
Indeed.
That's what they say.
I didn't realize that I was in the presence of someone so bright and advanced.
Indeed. Actually, anyone who wants to can make a intelligence check.
I will try.
Oh boy, I'm gonna do that.
Let's fucking go!
Uh,
I'm trained in it.
general intelligence or a specific?
Intelligence.
That's an intelligence save. That doesn't count. Hold on.
Well, I mean, you rolled a nat 20,
I didn't
though.
know if it was.
Yeah.
The intelligence save
okay.
is to be like.
I also rolled the nat 20.
Okay.
All right, y'all, in my 6.
I barely got an 18. Okay.
Jesus.
So a few of you recognize that indeed this book that she is reading through and working on, this would be a equivalent of a college level book that she is reading. Like if you went to an academy here to learn these things, this is the kind of book you would read out of. And she is at 8, not having any problems with it.
Well, that is certainly too advanced for me.
There's a really interesting one that comes from Mitras and Terran. That's about how machinery works. That's the one that I want to get Mom to let me read, but she won't let me use it yet.
Is there a reason why?
She says I need to understand the basics first.
Fundamentals are always very good to have a handle on
But
before.
they're so boring and easy.
Oh, I understand, but my learning medicine was much the same. You've gotta start from the bottom and work your way up. You'll get there. I'm
Hey.
quite sure of it.
Think of it this way. If the fundamentals are basically second nature to you, that makes it all the more easier to work on something that's more challenging. Yeah.
She narrows her eyes and looks at you. Fair enough. It's kind of that seems sus kind of look. But she looks at you.
The squint.
Yeah, it's the squint. It is the chicken squint.
Like
I don't know. Sounds like you might just be trying to get me to do this work.
Oh, not at all. I mean, I wasn't born with the ability to weave the magics out of the air, but I had to learn very quickly how to draw up on that harness that power, so to speak. So think for instance, and he just kind of waves his hand and produces a small flame in his hand. I was like, just imagine this being the beginnings of the fundamentals of whatever it is that you're trying to learn.
As if to demonstrate, she takes one of the devices off the end table, flicks it around, and a little fire pops up out of it.
Exactly. That's
She
it's
smiles.
perfect. If you were to add too much to it, and you had no clear understanding as to how to revert that, what do you think would happen?
Well, that would be silly. If you have too much of it, it'll either just burn too brightly, or more likely, you won't have the proportions right, and you'll be left over with a bunch of useless chemical at the end.
Then there you go. What you want to do is you want to build up to the point where it doesn't get to the too much of the blend or of the components, so you're not wasting anything. This is
Okay.
an investment.
Okay, but look, I'm an elf. I'm at best I'm gonna live to be 140 years. I don't want to have to waste 20 of them doing all this basic stuff.
I mean,
Well, you're a smart girl. I don't think you're gonna spend 20 years on that. I'll give you 10 tops.
Ugh. You know what? You should tell Mom that before you leave.
I mean, it's not advanced alchemy, but it's fairly rare. Done anything with pulling elements out of blood?
Pulling elements out of blood. Well, they usually call that necromancy, and it's pretty frowned on.
It's not necromancy.
Okay. Well,
And then Ayla will not gonna pull out one of her swords, so I guess we'll just grab like one of the knives from Dimner and demonstrate the
Don't
Crimson
trace this
Rites.
Don't trace this at home.
she watches that. That knife hadn't been washed. That's not gonna be good for you.
I've had worse.
That's also not gonna be good for you. You should take care of your hygiene better.
I agree.
Well, sometimes you get stabbed and you have to work with what you got.
That's
I
no
would
reason-
I would
you
work
don't
on
get
not
stabbed.
getting stabbed.
That's no reason to intentionally court such issues. That is my
What the doctor
official
said. Listen to the doctor.
diagnosis.
Look, it's
Flash
just
a little smile.
it's an investment. I take damage now to take less later because they're dead and they can't keep hurting me.
Ayla, I don't think you want to antagonize the only person who can possibly heal you. Yeah?
The 8-year-old looks up at you with that advice. Okay. I'm gonna go see if Mom are okay. And she
Look, I've been called smart but never wise.
clearly. And she hurries off. You all eventually can settle in for bed tonight.
I would actually want to pull Braylee a little aside.
All right.
Which, if she's out in the living room, means I'm probably just staying.
Sure.
Okay, I was gonna pull Nova, I guess, out on the balcony at some point.
All right. So we have 2 conversations to have. Go ahead. Layla, you're first.
Oh, okay. Braylee, dear, I did want to give you a quick look over the past few days, your meal choices. You seem to have something of a protein deficiency of late.
Oh, you can give me a look over. I definitely have had a lot of cravings.
Well, go ahead and get full into official mode. Go ahead and tell me about it.
Oh, this is a talk check. Well,
And presumably doing a little bit of the look in the pupils and
Yeah,
everything.
you're checking the lymph nodes and everything.
Yeah.
yeah. Because, like, Braylee's eyes have changed.
Yes,
Right.
notably, they are wolf's eyes now. So I would say, Layla, you very
that goes
quickly
on
do
the
notice
notepad.
something.
And
I
she's
have
got
a
pointy
Quick
teeth.
but relevant question.
Yeah.
Is Brayley colorblind now?
No, she's not colorblind.
Yeah.
She's the cool kind of wolf.
Yeah, she's a cool kind of wolf that still gets to see colors. You do notice that a couple things immediately, just as you're giving her a quick physical examination. Indeed, her eyes look like wolf eyes, which you're pretty certain they weren't before. And her teeth, the canines are longer, and kind of from there all the way back are much sharper. So those are definitely some things that weren't quite what they were before.
That doesn't seem right.
So how do I look? Did I check out?
Well, I'm not quite sure. You seem to have changed a little.
Oh,
When is the Is there a mirror around here? Presumably.
Presumably, yeah.
Okay. Well, come here. I'll sort of point some of the stuff out.
oh,
And at least to my recollection, this was not like this before.
oh. And she's gonna like be like, she's gonna like, did I take a mushroom earlier?
I grew my
But she-
teeth.
Undoubtedly.
Oh, that is different. Ever since I got that necklace, Lele, I've just been seeing things in my awake dreams and feeling things a lot more than before.
And when she mentions the necklace, gets a slight sort of because I got my thing. I see. Well, that mace that I found that we found there in the crash, while not perhaps as drastic, I did experience something mayhaps a little similar.
Oh, like what?
Besides the craving for meat, have you experienced any other changes?
Um, well, the thing with Aruna definitely was a big change.
I'm sorry, what thing?
Um,
With who?
oh, were you at that? Was Layla there when Braylee was?
I
don't
thought
think
she
so.
was, but I guess not. Yeah.
Everyone
Mm.
was there when she said Aruna.
I thought she was, but maybe not. It's
Yeah.
fine either way.
Because that was during the fight, right?
Kind of. I came down, heard that, and went, fuck this, and got into a fight with
Yeah,
Aruna.
it was last session.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of the first time it came up.
No. I mean, that is the first time
Okay.
it came up, but then she was told the name Aruna when they were together.
Yeah, Braylee spilled the tea during breakfast the
Yes.
next morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, getting everything in
Yeah.
order.
Yep.
No worries.
I see, and blink an in character deep breath. What was unusual about that?
Well, usually when someone approaches me like that, I don't usually reciprocate. But I just felt like it was right, and I went for it.
Well, I have heard that that is sometimes how how it goes.
Is that, Layla, is that normal? Do people usually show up in your room and then you get it?
No, I can't say that I've ever had that experience. Have you had such such feelings with others beyond that?
I've
As
noticed.
though was it just then, or has it much like your diet, have your cravings changed across the board?
Well, I've noticed people, but I've never really thought about being with them before.
I see. Well, you of course do know to take precautionary measures, right?
Um, what do you mean?
Oh, okay, hun. Well, let me go get some props.
Presumably, there is a maybe long overdue discussion for Brayley here about safe sex.
She went all natural.
She did, and fortunately, Aruna is not carrying anything. Meanwhile, out on the veranda.
Whew, I need a moment.
Well, bummer, because you and Ayla are up.
Oh, fuck.
Ayla, you take Nova out and talk with her.
Okay.
I have a thick blanket on because it's cold.
Ayla will just offer you a wing.
Oh, I am fine, thank you. Holds the blanket tighter.
You don't look fine, but okay. Look, I feel free to like shove me off this balcony and go back and deal with whatever that is.
You look inside and just see Layla holding like some like a zucchini, and you don't even want to know where this is going.
And from somewhere, a donut. There's actually like several.
Yeah.
But
What
The-
is it?
the entire time we've known each other, I don't think we've been in the room longer than an hour without some sort of sarcastic quip. And I haven't done that in like 2 days. You okay?
Their eyes kind of stare over the balcony. I am fine. Just merely a lot on my mind. This this mission is starting to look strange, huh?
I think it started to look strange when we were told we were coming up here. I think we've about come full circle now.
That is fair. You are from Terrason, yes?
Mm-hmm.
When you came to this continent, why did you choose the Children of the Deep to fight alongside?
Kind of drug. I mean, at first it was just where the first boat from Terrason landed, and so convenient. And then well, you were there when I actually joined.
There are many sides to this war. It has been going on ever since I can remember. But, well, I suppose for me it was just, a side. Not the side, Z side. If that makes sense.
Fair enough.
They kind of twiddle their thumbs a moment as they're thinking. The place that my mother worked at, the brothel. They were accused of housing some enemy faction. I don't know which. One of the many on this continent. And when the soldiers went inside to raid the place, I don't know if they found their evidence or decided they had found their evidence. And they torched the place. I barely got alive. Barely got out alive. I couldn't save my mom. I couldn't save my little brother either. I still don't know who or what that was about, but well, this war is, even if they have their sides, I still don't know exactly sometimes which is right. That's the right side.
Does anyone really?
I don't know. There are certainly people here who feel passionate about that. I don't know. I don't know what loyalty looks like in such a thing where I don't even know if I understand the cause.
Nova, as you finish that line, you hear a voice in your head for the first time in days. In fact, it's only as you hear that voice you realize how quiet it's been in your mind the last few days without Aruna. But it's not the voice that you were hoping to hear. It's a man's voice. It says, "Agent Nova, report."
With this kind of spell, am I able to still, talk before leaving, or does it immediately become...
You could, well, it doesn't really matter because you have the sending stone.
It's a stone. Okay.
Yeah, you actually have a one back and forth.
Okay. Then I will... I forget, in your world, do sending stones, are they audible or are they mental?
They're mental.
Mental? Okay. Mentally, she will say, one moment, not in safe area. And as she, I think, Ailey will just kind of see them jerk a little bit before wincing. Apologies, Ayla. I need a moment, if you don't mind. I will be back inside soon. And, she's gonna look for a slightly farther place to continue her conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And, excuse me. She's, I'm gonna think for a moment, before, returning to Sending Stone. Apologies, it has been, an interesting few days.
I'm sure it has. Make your report.
Right. As you are probably aware of the forces gathering.
Yes, we've received word from our scouts that the supposedly dormant navy at Mitra Scaleth has begun to move out and sail again, and there's been a massive uptick in activity around Jet's ambition. You were in Mitra Scaleth as of our last correspondence. Have they managed to secure an alliance?
It's the there is some forces that have aligned, but they are still questioning which ones are going to be part of the process.
Make a deception check.
Give me a second. 16.
They nod at, or they don't know, you don't see that, but they, after a moment, they affirm what you said. This attack is going to be coming soon. We need to know where. Our intelligence says that Highwall is the most likely target. Can you confirm? You are aware, Nova, at this point, that that is where the attack is coming.
Okay. Nova grits her teeth for a moment, for closing their eyes, thinking long and hard, staring down at that pit, and then smiling. It just so happens that I was able to bend their ear, as they say. I have worked with some of these officers and convinced some to instead make a trip to Verde's Lament.
There's a moment before a reply comes through. Verde's Lament. You've convinced them to attack the Warden Republic?
That is correct. Some of these people are very bloodthirsty, so they are more than willing to put their forces into a larger fight that would, well, be one long battle instead of several.
I suppose it was the Warden Republic that cowed the Mitra Scaleth Navy originally.
Correct.
And possession of Verde's Lament would also give them full control over the long jump.
That it would.
You're absolutely certain of this?
I have been speaking with some at length.
Make a deception check at your outright lie.
Okay.
What? No, I'm not on a completely different continent right now.
They don't need to know that. I'm spending inspo.
I'm just like in the bathroom. That's why the signal's funny.
I spent inspo. Let's hope
Okay.
it. Holy shit.
A 26. There's a long moment again before they come back through. An attack on Verde's Lament means that the Warden Republic will be forced to split its forces. They will have to send more ships and men over to defend Verde's Lament, meaning that Eris's Cloister might be susceptible to an attack. The Jaw, which has eluded our grasp for quite some time, might become vulnerable.
Come within your reach, so to speak.
Yes.
You may finally be able to put the bulk of your forces there, and the Warden Republic would be no more.
Well done, Agent Nova. When your fleet sets out for Verde's Lament, steal away on a ship and instead sail for the Fringe. Cross to Ship Swallow, and from there we'll be able to pick you up and bring you back. Your meeting with the Dawn Scale will be granted. Well done.
Thank you. And good luck to you.
Thank you. And to you as well. Over and out.
Nova stares at the sending stone and looks we're like on a balcony, and it's like a huge drop. Right?
Oh yeah, it's like it is. You're on the 74th floor. It's a long way down.
Can I
If you
make?
throw it hard enough, you can just get it off the continent even.
Yeah, I'd like. Are we like in like where people are walking? I don't want to like throw the penny off the Empire State
Oh,
Building.
I get what you're saying. I would not hurl it here then.
Okay.
I would wait until you're on an airship or something.
Yeah. I feel like they think about it, and last minute they're thinking like, I'm already committing a lot of people to die. I don't need one more on the sidewalk, and puts it away and just kind of puts their head down as they come back in, wishing they could sleep outside.
Fair enough. You eventually do make your way back in. People have begun to go to sleep and are retiring to their rooms for the night. If there's nothing else, we'll go until the morning. Morning in the Raynor household is a little bit more pleasant than the prior night was. Apparently, Kelsey and Lysel have figured out where they're both standing at. You get the sense that the conversation might have gone something to the effect of, I'm not mad at the choice you made. I'm mad that you made it without us talking about it first. And Kelsey may have gone, my bad.
That sounds
And
familiar.
that was it. That was a quick conversation.
Something like that. But you all have breakfast before bidding your farewells for now. Again, Kelsey tells you that after she's able to make a detour to Rest Hearth, she'll be on her way down and she'll see you in Jet's Ambition. Though she does also let you know that Lysel and Cheyenne will be coming with her because it would be a long time away from home. And then the fun begins.
The what?
Setting out that morning, you have a relatively short trip over to the Primus air dock. And arriving there, you can see it's a busy day, as it looks like some of the military vessels there might be getting ready to depart. You're not sure where to, of course, but it looks like that's what's getting ready to happen. However, a supply ship running between Kaldanesh and Mitra Primus has just pulled up, and once it's unloaded, you'll be able to board. As you're waiting for your turn, you see a rather unusual sight, as among the people and boxes being unloaded from the ship, you see just an incredibly chonky pigeon start waddling down the gangway. Spotting you, it coos and walks over to you. Nova, once again, it plods down next to you and starts flapping its wings very hard to just barely get airborne and land on your shoulder. It then sticks out a leg.
How in the hells? I guess she'll take the.
You see how in the hells. Clearly, it couldn't fly up here, so it had to take an airship.
There you are.
Brayley, the object of your affections, has made it.
Oh,
I take the piece of paper.
You take the piece of paper off of Herb's leg. It is, again, a small note, and it has the same handwriting as last time, to which it says, and I quote, "Tell Falah I said hi and that I miss her. Wait, I could probably just have Herb deliver this to Kalda," and then it kind of like runs out of room and the writing gets really small and illegible.
Oh, somebody else.
I'll just-
left-handed.
I'll just say that out loud. Blink. Shake my head. I do not know who these people are.
The pigeon bobs its head a few times.
I mean, at the very least, it's not as cryptic as the last one.
You wish a message back, Mr. Pigeon? Mr. Herb? Okay.
you know what?
I give him
Yes,
a
I
little
would.
treat.
I would
He
actually
goes,
like.
Brayley's
Okay.
gonna fish out some like scraps of like food. Here, Herb.
Herb sees the food and starts like using like his beak and claws to like crawl down Nova towards their arm and go towards the food.
Yes.
Oh, I
Are
do
you-
actually have something for this occasion, and he fetches the sack of bird food that he got from the from Meter Scaleth and go. I remember this time.
He starts beating his wings really fast again, and again just kind of barely flutters over to you, Ramiel, and lands on your arm, and your arm goes down a solid 3 or 4 inches.
Oh,
He's
God.
heavy.
Oh, you're
He's a big boy.
you're a hefty one, aren't you?
Brady,
Yeah,
are you
he
trying to fatten up Herb?
I'm just looking out for his health. And like,
I
you can
think
see
looking
her
out for
trying
his
to like.
health is losing like half of his size.
He just starts pecking at the feed in Ramiel's hand.
Good.
We have to feed him the
Look.
good stuff.
I'm not an expert at Oh wait, yes I am.
I mean, I don't know how you fly, Ayla. Their wings are aloe. I'm sorry, their bones are aloe.
He nods.
I don't even know how he's flying. You shouldn't be able to fly with that much weight.
He he looks over and says, "Neither should you." He didn't say that. He can't talk.
Rude.
But he just goes,
His
Somehow
eyes said it.
Rude.
With what little I know of the aerodynamics of such things, Herb should not even be airborne, if anything. But here he is, the fucking miracle himself.
"Yeah, he definitely had to take the airship to get up here and deliver this message. Like, he did not fly up here."
He is adventurous at best. We are to say hello to Fala. And something about Kaldana.
Oh, what? Right. Oh shit. Oh, we are meeting another one of the Whispers in Silence, and I am. Oh,
We
Please.
oh, I am.
Please
We
tell
know
me
that
this
we are?
one is less weird than Varys.
Another one.
Listen, Varys is a special case, even amongst the Whispers in Silence.
Herb nods.
I quite frankly do not know what sort of hold he has over Carmen that she was able to kind of tolerate his presence for more than 5 minutes, but
There's
That's-
only one way. And we all know what it is.
if you're implying that he has a ginormous fucking dick, no. Or at least
Wow.
I just
surely-
learned about those.
I'm not
At
going
least-
to say that's what I'm implying, but I'm also not going to say that wasn't what I was implying.
At least I surely hope that wasn't the case, Sammy.
How do-
Braylee, Herb flies over and starts nesting in your hair.
Oh.
She's
there
gonna
are
start
lots of-
weaving like.
There's like lots of sticks in there, so like he's just like clearly just starting to build a nest.
Oh, be careful. She will eat you when you sleep.
Even sounds delicious.
Even so, amongst the Whispers in Silence, there are probably a few people that you wouldn't want to piss off. Phila being one of them, given her penchant for the fact that she was raised by the fucking bloody hand of all people.
You mean the severed hand?
That one. Sorry, I looked down
Gross.
and apparently I'm bleeding. Hold on, sorry.
Oh,
Oh, well, okay.
Okay.
You would know, Ayla, that the severed hand has not gone by the severed hand in a minute. Only in the stories are they still called the severed hand. They are called the silver hand now.
Ah.
Looking over at you, Nova, he sticks his leg back out.
Are we writing a letter?
You know what? Yes, we are.
Well, why don't you write it and I will tie it to Herb's leg.
Okay. And let me think on this one.
I would say it can be about 1 or 2 sentences.
Yeah. We're talking sending stone length.
Yeah.
In a moment, we will make sure you're on the airship to return.
Yeah, he points a wing over at the airship schedule. And like you can go like he's got an airship to catch if he's gonna get back.
Can you read? That was not a
Smart.
no. That was very that was scary, actually. If you can read, there is no telling when the bird apocalypse will come upon us.
We better eat him now.
I'm telling you, Eb, she wants to eat you. You look like a very plump, delicious pigeon.
He pecks Braley's head and then flies off.
Get him.
Alright, it'd be
Yep.
this would be the
All right.
message.
Perfect. Tell me that the musical Land Elves are sending their finest to aid the children's jeep. We have a lot of stories to share and get. All right. You put that message around his leg, and he starts fluttering off over to where there is a counter, and he presses a little thing on it, and a ticket pops out. He grabs it and goes over to wait for another airship.
I'm telling you, the bird apocalypse is coming.
That was another in a string of unusual occurrences we seem to be collecting.
Frankly, if
Oh,
it
I'm
wasn't
going
for
to
the
have to choose
fact
a side of the bird's apocalypse, aren't I?
I'd say you're
Perhaps.
you're the first sign.
Perhaps you were the first sign.
Oh no.
After a little bit, you are all able to get on the airship that is departing for Kaldanesh. You're told it's about a 4-hour trip to get there. Not too long at all, given that Mitra Glorianda is above Alcana right now. So, yeah, if there's any conversation you want to have on the airship, feel free to do so now.
Less of a conversation and more of an outfit change for Ramiel.
Do it up.
Ooh.
So he's actually going to emerge from his quarters, or the room that was given to them, and instead of the full full long sleeved form fitting top that he has something more to this outfit in the which I have apparently overwritten over here. Hold on, let me just copy paste it again.
Do me a favor,
So he
drop it in the
doesn't-
Mother's Jail chat.
Yee.
Thank you.
There we are. It'd be this one if I can find it. There.
That's a very fat
Fucking
pigeon, Tilly.
It's
How'd
a,
you
it's a
find it?
chonky pigeon.
How'd you find that pigeon?
Ooh.
So that's
Sneaky.
gonna be the top that he has now. He still has the sleeves, but they're more like detached sleeves now. He still
I'm
has
telling you
the,
right now, you don't get to wear that top and have me not call you a twink.
It's true. It's like the twink uniform.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's true.
And he does still have the sash on, but very evidently it is he is taking the prioress's example and showcasing his
Scales?
growing scales now. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I like
Still
it.
kind of like fidgeting nervously, but he's trying to own it.
As you're getting ready to pull away from the dock, you just see Herb give you a thumbs up with his pigeon wing.
Right.
You can do more of
Kayla
this.
looks at Ramiel, looks at herself, looks back at Ramiel, kind of smirks and goes, "Okay, are you gonna start wrapping your arms next too?"
Well, one of us is going to have to change.
No, I think I quite like the sleeves. They help with the with obscuring the semantic components of my spells.
All right.
And please, I look hotter in this.
Oh, do you?
It looks
He's
like
like-
you'd be colder.
And he's like, yeah. I mean, look at me. I'm
You are-
scrumptious.
You are all told that where you're going, it's going to be much warmer than it is here.
That's good.
Yes.
Kayla
Uh,
just grimaces.
So Nova would have retired to their room for a little bit. At some point, they will be coming out, but if you guys have things you need to do with each other before that, go ahead or let me know. Otherwise,
Just do your thing.
do my thing.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I think when Nova next comes out, they're gonna be just looking for whoever is nearest to the rooms right now. They're looking a little haggard.
I'd say, given that you're all like in airborne again and flying over the ocean, though you are descending now, I think probably most people are up on the deck.
All right. They will come above deck, and I think they're looking a little worser for wear. And as they approach, they're just gonna say, "Can I talk to you all for a minute?"
Sure.
Of course. What's on your mind?
Who else? Is anyone else also up here? Or okay, cool.
This is mostly a cargo ship.
Okay. Nova kind of teeters on each foot before taking out weapons, any massive pieces of armor they were carrying, and puts their hands in the air and says, "I would like to turn myself in."
Kind of like furrows a brow at that and goes like, if this is because of the nighttime activities.
No. Her accent is gone.
We're all
No.
up here.
Yeah. No, I would like to turn myself in for treason against the children of the deep.
What are you
What?
talking about?
I'm sorry. You'll have to elaborate, I believe.
I am not who I've been saying I am. And it is time that you all know. So, I have been a double agent for the Draconic Legion. It is for the best that you take my weapons and take me into custody, so that I do not hurt you all any longer.
Bramiel has a very complicated look on his face.
I will answer whatever
Oh.
questions you have. Hmm?
Also complicated looks, but does sort of approach and hold out a hand for you to voluntarily hold over your weapon.
Yeah, they threw it on the ground, but if you want, they will give them to you.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. But yeah, they threw their weapons on
Okay,
the
in
ground.
that case, it would be sort of kick over towards the rest of the group.
Why tell us? Why
I-
burn yourself?
Sorry, say it again.
Why tell us? Why burn yourself then?
I have nothing left. I have no power left. My source of strength is gone, and I have, well, come to the realization that despite my status of not having a soul, that this was for the best.
What do you mean not having a
I don't-
soul?
I don't think any of that explains anything that you said before.
They grit their teeth. I I had the power that I had before, and the person that you were all seeing interacting with you was. Before I say anything more, if you do see her and she returns, please promise me that you do not blame her or hurt her. She did nothing wrong. This was all me. Please.
Sort of looking at everybody else like, are you following? Because I'm not.
Romiel has has his arms crossed. Jesus Christ, has his arms crossed. And just kind of like looking at Nova at this point.
Nova's eyes are just completely downcast, and I think the only other thing you might notice is normally they're a little bit more lively, and they are not right now. They are just dead and solemn. Her name's Aruna. She told me she was a devil. I had no idea.
Turning towards Brayley.
What?
Aruna has the ability to shapeshift. And she also has certain tastes. Which is why she had approached first Ayla, taking the form of myself, and then Brayley taking her true form, as it turned out to be. That was an unexpected part of the deception.
I'm confused.
Why let me think it was you? Why?
I don't know. We had a deal. Long ago, she did something for me, and my soul was the price that I paid willingly, knowing what it meant. But there were complications, unexpected complications that were not her fault. And she said if I were able to get the Dawn Scale, I could have my soul back. So I tried to figure out the quickest way to get the Dawn Scale, which was to do the most dangerous mission you can do in a war. Be a double agent. But things started to change. I started to change. Aruna was acting strange. We had a fight and she left. I have nothing left. I am nothing left. So I did the only thing I could, and I told the Draconic Legion that we were going to be landing elsewhere for the Operation Sword Crown. And I am turning myself in.
Very long
That's-
pause.
Something redeeming.
There is no redemption for me. I have no soul. I have no power. I have no destiny. I'm nothing. And that's fine.
But you want to turn yourself in. You feel something.
I can't. I'm not supposed to.
Not supposed to and can't are very different things.
I'm not supposed to have a soul. I'm not supposed to feel anything. I don't know why I feel anything, but it's ugly and it's not worth your time.
You heard me say this to Captain Reyna. That deception never comes from your enemies.
Well,
That's right. I had Aruna impose a bit of her essence into my soullessness so that I would have some semblance of a personality to continue this deal. But she is gone and has been gone for several days now.
Well,
Stand up.
All those times we talked, was that Runa? Was that you?
Nova winces. It depends on what you mean by that. And you said stand up, Ramiel?
Yeah.
They'll slowly get to their feet, but their eyes are still staring down at the floor with their hands up.
Look at us.
Slowly they raise their head, and even though there's not a lot of light in their eyes, it is very red.
And Ramiel is going to turn to Ayla. You've known her for the longest and far better than any of us. Your call.
I've been soulless since you met me.
But you said it's complicated.
I gave my soul up several years ago for a deal. And then I learned to wander, and that's when you all met me.
None of this is answering my question.
What?
What did you mean it's complicated with our talks? Was it you? Was it her?
There were times she would tell me afterwards that she had left, and I didn't realize it.
But it was you.
Perhaps whatever me was left in those moments.
Nova, I poured my soul out to you. I told you things I've never told anyone else in my life.
I
You
know.
think I care for you so little that betraying me would change any of that?
Their eyes snap to you in confusion. What are you talking about? Of course it should matter.
If it was you in those moments and it was you I trusted,
You
still trust.
don't know that. I'm not anybody. It's gone. It's all gone.
Ayla, I'm the last person to judge someone for deceiving people about their or misleading people about their given identities. For fuck's sake, I'm a lost prince of the elves,
You are. You're a lost
direct
prince.
descendant of Azure.
That's my point, Ramiel. You're a direct descendant of Azure. Brayley is a reincarnation of a goddess. Layla has family connections back to the Azure, into this war, and Ayla is one of the first, perhaps Asamar, to be here. I am the daughter of a prostitute who died, who didn't even try to save her brother. I was too cowardly to save them then. I was too cowardly to confront someone and gave my soul instead, and I am too cowardly now to do much else. I am. You all have a destiny to fulfill, and I am intruding. I get that now.
You
We
think the
may be all those things, but you're not nothing.
Do you think the Whispers in Silence started out the way they did?
You're probably a lot braver than me.
No, they were mortals. Just the same as you and I.
Just the same as Brayley and Layla. And yes, just the same as Ayla. We're the mortal reminders for a reason, Nova. You, if anyone, best exemplifies that example.
Why are you all still trying to give me a chance?
Because Mum raised someone who believes in second chances. It's how she broke the cycle of hatred. It's how she strives to teach people how to heal the world. Not to perpetuate the cycle that would entice more suffering, more despair. Because that's what gave Scarla her power. She divided people, preyed on their weaknesses. And you say that you're too cowardly to do your job. Nova, I am witnessing the bravest act. You're allowing yourself to be vulnerable to people who that I think deep down you want to trust. And so, you know what? I think the appropriate penance for that is to live. See this through.
Nova, as you open your eyes and look up at that, none of them are moving. They have all frozen. You see the weapon on the ground, the lover's touch, and it lifts up into the air by its own will and approaches you.
Aruna?
Do you reach out and grasp the blade?
Yeah.
As you do, indeed, you see Aruna manifest sitting on the balcony, or on the railing, and she glances over at Ramiel. You know, he really is smarter than he looks.
You came back.
She looks over at you.
I'm sorry.
You made that choice when it benefited you nothing. All you had were things to lose. Your friends, your chance at the Dawn scale, your very life. And you chose it anyway. Why?
I couldn't do the wrong thing anymore.
Because it hurt?
Runa, why does it hurt so much?
You made a choice for love, for friendship, for companionship. And you made it without me. What does that tell you, Sherry? You have all the pieces to the puzzle. You just have to put them together.
Nova furrows their brow for a second, thinking. You never took it.
She smiles. I cannot steal a soul any more than I can make the sun rise and fall.
But I wanted you to.
You did.
So badly.
And so when I told you that I did, you were happy enough to believe me. Here, seeing the devils of this land, I understand that I am not like them. I seek connection with other souls, trying to fill an emptiness that exists within me. That is why I am with you in the waking hours, but can only manifest for them when they dream. We are linked, bound through something I cannot describe nor explain. But I know, as instinctively as I know to breathe, that we are more than just star-crossed lovers. That day when you gave me everything, when you surrendered your all to me, we established the link. And now it has grown into something more. And with that, she disappears. But Nova, you feel her again in your mind, that emptiness no longer aching. And a sudden burst of magenta light erupts out of your weapon, and you may add the Lover's Touch dormant to your inventory.
Ooh, fancy. Add to my class back on. Sorry, guys.
It is a +1 weapon. It has Lover's Embrace. Your patron protects you against those who would try to sway you away. You have advantage on charisma saving throws. And you also have Shot Through the Heart. When attacking a creature under the effect of your Hex spell, you score a critical hit on a 19 or a 20.
Already? Oh, fuck.
And Nova, I also need you to do one more thing.
You got it.
I need you to change your race to Oniroxy. For you and Aruna are the first of your kind to grace Serene.
Damn.
I see. I see. I'll do that later because I think it's going to mess up some spell stuff.
Sure.
So we'll look into that in a second.
Did we get the spelling for that in Mother's Jail somewhere? Or?
There you are.
Thank you.
You and your Somni spirit, Aruna, are bound now in the eternal dance of Ashala. Though you know not yet what that means, you will have to learn over your many lifetimes together. And then, with a snap, everything is happening again. You all look, and suddenly Nova is holding her sword, and it is glowing a magenta shade. A warm love coming off it that makes you all feel warm.
Oh, that's new.
Aruna came back to me, but she's here right now. If you wish to meet her again, you'll have to go to sleep.
Oh, I will visit them in their dreams anytime they wish, though only by your leave.
We don't
Thank
hear
you.
Aruna, right? That's just Nova. Okay.
That's just Nova.
Yeah. I think Noah just kind of smiles, and obvious something's in her head as they nod. Well, I was apparently never actually soulless. Ugh.
Disassociation's a bitch, though.
I feel like that's your character's new motto.
Pretty much.
Disassociation's a bitch.
Like Ayla just nods sagely.
Right.
Come now, Sherry, go give them a hug.
Runa wants me to give you all a hug, so I don't know who wants one.
But is that something that Nova wants?
It's something Nova very much wants. Yes.
And Ramiel is going to step aside and push Ayla over to Nova.
Hold on.
Oh, Sherry, I just realized if we are sharing one mind now, we both get Ayla.
You you shush. You're lucky you're pretty.
So I rolled for Dex for Ayla, and I rolled a nat 1, so I'm pretty sure she just trips and falls onto Nova.
Trip and fall
I
into
have a
a
strength
hug.
of 8,
And
so
again,
timber!
They both fall over with Ayla on top of Nova. Ayla, your hand lands in a very inconvenient spot.
Very soft. Very fun.
It is very soft.
Convenient.
Goodness, Ayla, I think you need to buy me dinner first.
Well, we betrayed them, dear. I think we can buy dinner.
Fair enough. Elrina says I should be buying you all dinner. Oh! Your wings are not hollow! What the fuck?
I still haven't figured out how I fly, but, full transparency.
Oh. Alright.
And Nova,
Yes. Trying to breathe.
do me a favor.
Yes.
Never fucking call yourself nothing. You're our friend.
I told you he's smarter than he looks.
Ayla will get up and help
Okay,
Nova.
Well then, if that's the case, let me at least admit one thing. The name Nova is the name I have chosen. I was originally Theodora Millsmith. The name isn't special. Nova is simply the name that my little brother could pronounce. He couldn't say the Theo and he couldn't say the Dora, so it was Nova. But Theodora she was in a situation that she did not see any other way out. Nova is going to try to be stronger than that.
I think Ayla just has a 1,000-yard stare.
And how would you prefer us to refer to you?
Let me try this again for real now. And they take a step back and kind of do a bit of a sweet bow, which is, I think, what they may have done the first time you all met. And she will say, I'm Nova Hayes, and I'm at your service.
And as you do, everyone else, you watch as her hair turns silver all the way through.
Oh, pretty. Oh, you even figured out why the half silver happened. That's cute. That's cute.
Hell
I was
yeah.
going to say it was trauma, but that works.
Why not both?
Why
You're in
not?
one of my campaigns, it can be both. So,
Does Nova notice the hair change color?
I don't know.
Probably not immediately.
Probably, yeah, it would take probably a moment.
Why are you all looking at me that way? Did I do something
Ayla
wrong?
will just grab one of the newly silver ones. Looks good on you.
And here
What
I
is that
thought-
now? Like, how many people have, like, fairly white-ish hair now?
I guess 3 of us. That's okay. That's okay. We're all black and white.
Mm-hmm.
So you all share a nice trip down with a lot of processing and explaining as Nova takes you through some of the grittier details of what her assignment was
Yeah.
and what ultimately you lied about to make sure that they are now going to be focusing their forces in the wrong place, which is ultimately a good thing.
They prefer to do it this way. I'm sorry. I gave them something they wanted to believe in, and they fell for it. So, and they'll take the sending stone out. This is the message they use. I was going to throw it last night, but I was afraid to kill someone from the top of the tower. But I can throw it now.
How easy is it to, like, destroy a sending stone?
I mean, it's not particularly hard, but you could certainly throw it in the ocean below and that'd do it.
Do you want to throw it or do you want to break it?
I could take all my anger and rage on it, but I'm not that strong. So I'll take my chances and see how well I can skip it across the ocean.
You do. With your 8 strength, you hurl it as hard as you
I
can.
got a better dex.
Okay.
I got a 16 dex. I
Alright.
got some skipping. Rock
So
skipping
you
going.
got some wrist motion going on.
Yeah.
And you hurl the stone out into the ocean, the last vestige of your betrayal, sinking beneath the waves.
I was gonna say, like, at 30 feet, Bromil was gonna fire off a witch bolt at it.
Pull!
That's funny.
And descending below the clouds that surround and hide Mitra Glorianda, you can see the great continent of glass. As far as the eye can see, the sun is reflected above large sections of glass and the myriad and massive deserts that fill the gaps between them. Laying eyes on the untold miles of barren wasteland, you can't help but think of the millions who must have lost their lives the night the sky burned. The ship touches down in the water a few miles off the coast of Kaldanesh, the twin balloons deflating and then descending back down under the main deck as the ship begins to sail towards the port. After all, it wouldn't do for the whole world to know that air travel is a thing. The first thing you notice is the change in temperature. From the low teens of Mitra Glorianda to the upper 90s of the Alcanan coast, it is a stark change, to say the least, and many of the deckhands on the ship have to quickly disrobe to more suitable garb. After about a half hour of sailing, you finally see it on the horizon. Among the glare of the glass desert, you see a city on the coast, and drawing nearer, you can see that it's still a relatively small city, though it's clearly been designed in a way that would allow it to expand outward. The buildings are made of mostly clay with wooden supports, unsurprising as they'll need to be able to survive the intense heat here. To the south of the city, you can see an utterly massive pit dug into the desert landscape, like a quarry of some sort. On the north side of the city, large fields of crops have wooden structures built around them to block the burning sun, but have collapsible ceilings to allow the light in during the mornings and evenings when it's not quite so overbearing. Near these fields, a large metal machine stands a couple stories tall and is pulling in salt water from the ocean, which then flows out towards a man-made lake and irrigation channels. Clearly, they have found some way to make ocean water drinkable here. The docks here are remarkably busy, and there seems to be ships coming and going at all hours of the day. It's a place that clearly thrives on trade, and only a cursory glance shows that most of what's coming in from the ships are things like soil, seeds, mechanical parts, and lumber. But you all dock at the ship and are given your all clear to go ashore.
Hooray.
Welcome to Kaldanesh, the city of dreams.
Tourist face. Mostly
Rami.
means looking up.
Ramiel is
most-
fanning himself with whatever some kind of paper he found.
The streets of Kaldanesh are mostly formed by rows of two-story clay buildings on either side. Spanning the gaps of the buildings, large cloths and tapestries are hung to provide shade on the streets below. The population of the city is, as expected, largely tiefling, though there is a healthy mix of humans, halflings, and uruks here as well. Ayla, you can't recall seeing so many tieflings in one place since your days of slumming it in Hell's Hold. Like, it's been a minute since you've seen this many tieflings in one spot. Arriving in the morning, as you all have, the city is very busy as people have much to get done before needing to head inside during the midday hours when the heat becomes too much to bear. Despite the heat of this place, you see that many of the buildings have glass windows that do seal shut and can open, suggesting that at nighttime it probably gets quite cold here, which would stand to reason being a desert.
Well, this is certainly a change of pace. Also, I could use a giant fan and some water immediately.
The water's good. I
Fan.
definitely find this much
Ayla,
preferable.
We could use a fan, please.
I was gonna say Ayla just flaps one wing at Nova,
Ah, perfect. Exactly what I was looking for.
and then she
Really
looks at her
dumb.
wing in betrayal and like realization that she can't flap it at herself.
Womp.
Oh,
How
Ramiel
dare
just
you.
kind of gives Aelin a pointed look and goes like, "Oh well, certainly your favor is showing."
I
Does
asked
she have-
for it.
Yeah, they asked you didn't.
That's reasonable.
Also, I don't recommend having like really dark purple feathers here. Just gonna throw that out there right now.
yeah, that seems really
Already
warm.
sucks.
It is very warm here. It is still morning, but it is, like I say, low 90s already. Notably, though, and I hate to be the person who says, it's a dry heat. It is, it's a desert. Though you are on the coast, it's still very dry.
Listen, as much as that's memed on, it really does make a difference.
Yes, it is not humid here at all.
And
Really,
Ayla
really?
will grumble and then just spread her wings like over the party,
Aw.
Beautiful shade.
and then
Really
grumble that
smooth.
she's still not in the shade.
What were you saying,
Really,
Bradley?
it's barely wears layers, so she's gonna like delayer to like just like a black like bralette, like the, the lowest layer she can.
Yeah,
Like wrap the rest of the clothes around her waist.
yeah. Nova's kind of doing the same thing, because normally they wear like an overcoat, so they are stripping down to some kind of a tank top.
I will keep track of who has eyes on you.
Thank you, Aruna.
Ramiel is actually going to put the he's going to take off the sleeves and sew them away and just kind of like let the sash fall into more of a belt right now. And go. Oh, well, seems the change of attire was appropriate. Right.
As you walk through the market here, indeed everyone is selling what they have, and you notice immediately the culture of this place. Obviously, very heavily tiefling influenced, and therefore right now Terrasen influenced, because that's where most of the tieflings have come from. Ayla, it reminds you a lot of Hell's Hold here. The designs that are on like the tapestries being sold and things like that are all are very similar to the ones you would see back home.
Yeah, I think despite the heat, like this is the most at-home Ayla like anyone has seen Ayla.
Mm-hmm. So where to?
Is there like a central building, so to speak, or like does the road seem to lead to like some sort of giant building?
It's not hard to ask around, and I kind of ask like where's the government building or where's your leaders at? Being that none of you look like you're from around here, they assume you are here on foreign business of some kind. And they do guide you up towards the main government building, which is near the center of the city. It's a simple circular dome of clay and wood. Stepping inside, you can see the main area of this dome has representatives of the city with a few offices for city officials. At the reception area, a red-skinned tiefling with black hair and amber eyes, looking to be in her 30s, glances up at you. She smiles pleasantly. Welcome to Kaldanesh, travelers. What can I do for you?
Greetings. We would like to. We are the mortal reminders, and we have a message for Fala Silverbrox.
Oh, for Phil Silverbrooks. A message from whom, if I might ask?
Prioress Vicencia Larksheart and Cadence
Understood.
of the Ivory.
We've come from very long away.
You must
Months
have. Very well. Just give me a moment, please.
Of course.
And she kind of scurries off. Looking around, you can see there are two rooms. There's one on the right and one on the left. The one on the right has a placard on it that says Mayor Jakresh on it, which is interesting, I think, for you, Ayla, because that is a man's name, and that would suggest that the mayor of this city is a male tiefling. And given that tieflings on Terrasen are almost always matriarchal, that's surprising.
Yeah, I feel like Ayla's just kind of staring at the nameplate a little bit more.
Don't you believe in equality? Get with the picture, Ayla.
It's not that there's a problem with it. It's just unusual. You're
I
like,
know,
huh.
I'm just
It
getting her
just
goat.
feels wrong.
I'm just getting her
That's
goat.
weird.
Yes, it's definitely weird for your people. But indeed, he is. After a moment, she comes back out of the other office and nods for you all to enter. The other office, indeed, belongs to Phila Silverbrooks, the highest-ranking representative of the Silver Hand here in the city. Her office is a simple enough affair with a large map on the wall of the continent and another of the city itself. On a table near the entrance, schematics for the quarry nearby are laid out, and sitting behind the desk, you see Phila. An Uruk woman in her mid-30s, she has long dark hair tied back behind her head. Her deep green skin has clearly been tanned by the sun of Alcana, and resting on a stand behind her, you see the legendary sword Mother's Blade, a curved sword of radiant white steel with a simple leather-wrapped handle. And glancing up from her work, she raises an eyebrow before nodding. Good morning.
Thank you for seeing us on such short notice.
I'm told you have a message for me.
Correct.
It's from
Yeah,
two
go ahead.
people. It's from two people actually. First, is a message from Cadence of the Ivory. She says, hi, and she misses you.
Fala just
Sec-
closes her eyes and notably chuckles.
My
Very
sister
well.
has that effect on people. The second being on a more official capacity, a message from Prioress Vicencia Larksheart. And let me just browse through my thing. Hold on. Where is the thing?
How is the prioress?
She is well. As it turns out, she recently received favorable news.
Well, I am happy to know that.
Where is the message? I thought I wrote it down.
Message is that the elves of Mitra Glorianda are ready to make good on their part of the bargain. You weren't told what that means, but you were told Fala would know.
The message being that the Mitra Glorianda elves are ready to uphold their end of the bargain, and that you are aware of what this means.
She makes a note on a piece of paper. Thank you. That is good to know. I will send representatives back up to make the arrangements. Well, welcome to Kaldanesh. This, I assume, is your first time here.
It is. I've only heard rumors of, well, not so much rumors, but more of hearsays here and there,
All good things, I hope.
of course.
She kind of gives a wry grin. Well, and,
Mum always said that you were quite the capable person, and she had all the faith in your current endeavor.
how is Melody?
Oh, with any hope, all right.
Well, welcome
Hi.
to the city. How much do you know about Kaldanesh?
Only that this is the ancestral home of the tieflings of Serene, and the first to experience Scarlet's wrath.
No, actually, Alcana indeed is the ancestral home of the Tieflings, but it was destroyed long before the era of Scala, thousands of years before it. The night the sky burned was many millennia or many centuries before Scala came to be, though the displacement of the Tieflings was one of the things that led to her rising to power. We are mostly a trade city these days, as you can probably guess. We have to import, soil and seeds and lumber. There's not much in the way of trees here, and mechanical parts all have to come from elsewhere. So that is, difficult. That is where the Silver Hand comes in. We arrange for those trade negotiations and ensure that no other trading partners would try to take advantage of a young burgeoning city.
How well intentioned.
We do try to be. This was my mother's idea, though I have since taken over running it. She has begun to decline. So now I'm in charge of it.
Decline?
She's getting old.
It happens to the best of us.
And she is the best of
That
us.
is something that happens.
Yes, it is. Sorry, excuse me. She looks at you, Ayla, for a moment. And Asamar.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first. She has jazz hands.
She would have to be. How old are you?
Callie, I forget, has Ayla turned 20 at this point, or is she about to?
I think at this point you would have turned 20.
20?
That'd be about right. Well, I can't say I've ever met one of your kind, but certainly a first.
We are exceedingly rare.
That you are. Hopefully you won't always be. I'm told every day that more of you are being born across the world. Well, if you have a chance to see Lana before you leave, I'm sure she'll want to study you. No offense.
It's gonna sound really weird, but I'm kind of used to it.
She chuckles.
Robbie just kind of like starts shimmying the sash back up on his shoulder.
Well, if you'll, and as she's getting ready to say something, she stands and walks back over to the desk. Where are you all originally from, or where are you heading?
Mother's
This
jail.
was meant to be a detour before we headed back to Jet's mission.
Mother's jail, the continent.
Yeah, I know it. She goes and gets a map out, a world map. Jet's ambition's on the crown, right?
Yep, right here.
Okay. Are you representatives of Jet's ambition?
You are looking at lieutenants of the Children of the Deep.
That's a yes?
Yes.
That's a yes. I was just adding more description.
Understood. Do you have any surplus supplies in Jet's ambition that you might be willing to trade?
Do we?
Make a history check.
I'm trying to remember. We're good at history.
I'm okay at history.
Do it.
That's a 5.
I don't know. I think
No idea.
I think the natives of Mother's Jail would know more. Cough, cough, Nova. Cough, cough, Brayley.
Brayley, I will give you advantage if you want to try and make the check.
All right, let's do it.
I was gonna say
History.
16 for
History.
Ayla.
16? Okay.
If need be, we could contact back to arrange such things.
Shit.
Oh, nice,
Oh,
Brayley.
there we go.
20.
Yay!
Brayley, the Crown is well known for its surplus of lumber. The dying forest is massive and has a lot of lumber.
And now a few less corpses.
Yes, and now not a monster in it.
Burley's gonna step up. Just be kind of quiet. Oh, I know. We have plenty of wood. Lots of wood to go around, more than enough.
Well, lumber is something that is in constant demand here, both for making fires and for construction. There are, as you can see, not much in the way of trees on this continent.
Yeah, big
Okay.
trees, little trees, long, thin trees, thick trees, whatever you need.
Excellent.
Trees as big as your head.
Would you be willing to take a sample with you of what we have to trade?
That shouldn't be a problem. What sample again?
She goes into her desk and pulls out what looks like a sword, a rapier, made out of like tinted red glass.
What is that?
It is absolutely beautiful, but clearly for show, as glass certainly would not make for a very good weapon. Nevertheless, she draws the blade up and slams it into the rock-solid wall, showing that the glass neither shatters nor even chips. In fact, the only damage seems to be to the wall itself.
Oh.
What the hell did you break a wall with glass?
We call it sanguine stone for the color.
That's certainly impressive.
Yes, it's proven to have some rather amazing applications in both magic and smithing. Utilizing it, we've been able to trade for whatever we need so far to get the city up and running, but we're always looking for more trade partners.
Well,
Well, that's...
if nothing else, I think the children of the deep would be very interested in in using this sanguine stone for bolstering their arsenal.
Yes. The Lana has been experimenting with it quite a bit, and it is not easy to convert it into a powdered form, but in a powdered form, it does quite well at filling in for spell components, she tells me.
Is
Spell
really
components?
familiar.
Yes. If you powder it, it can have magic infused through it and can replace other spell components.
That would be useful.
Yes.
Say,
I happen to
five
know that you're all
women.
at war.
It would indeed be quite the boon.
Does Brayley know?
Brayley,
Sorry.
No, go ahead, you're fine.
Brayley, I'll let you make an intelligence check just to see if you can figure this out, because you've never seen anything like what this is. It's kind of like a crystal. But it looks like glass. Seeing your kind of curiosity, she nods. When we started this project, in the early goings, there was a lot of course, goodwill, but we were never going to get this city up and running on the backs of charity. That was just simply not realistic, and frankly, the tieflings who live here weren't interested in surviving eating out of other people's hands. We needed something to trade, and it was actually my sister who stumbled upon the answer. In her studies, she researched a lot of things like geology and the formation of metals and crystals, and she theorized that while the top of the continent was now mostly sand, deep underground there was possibly still glass, strengthened from thousands of years of pressure on it. And her guess was, as it turns out, right on the proverbial money. Yes.
What? The depths of earth can surprise you.
Yes, they can. And right about that moment, the office door opens and a young tiefling bursts in. She looks to be in her teens, with icy blue skin and purple eyes that match her hair, which is tied back into a long braid. Her twin horns curve upwards as she tries to catch her breath. Miss Fala, there's... She gasps, and Fala winces. Rhea, I love you with all my heart, but we've been over this. You need to knock before entering, she replies. Rhea nods slowly, trying to catch her breath. So sorry. Sorry, they want you in the mine. Fala exhales through her nose. Always something. Was someone hurt? She asks, and Rhea shakes her head. No, they found something. Please, can you come? She needs you. Fala groans. Rhea, breathe. Please do not pass out in my office.
Through
Yes.
the nose, out to the mouth.
I'll come
if you
take a
would.
look, she says, and looks at you all. Would you like to see the mines?
Why not?
Yes,
It
well.
would be
Yes.
it would be best to be able to know and explain the process. That way we can drone on and they can just agree to it.
Yes, well, come along. This is my niece, Rhea Sorea's daughter. Follow along, please. And Rhea is like, oh, God, I just made that run. Okay. And she kind of stumbles along with you. And you all make your way on over to the mines. About 10 minutes walk later, you're all descending an elevator down the side of the quarry wall. Rhea has finally caught her breath and has introduced herself to you properly as you're on your way down. She nods. Sorry. I'm here studying with Aunt Falah. I wanted to see the homeland. Oh, okay. I'm okay.
You're all right. We're going to see what's going on.
Soraya's daughter is an Aunt Kaldana. As an Aunt Kaldana.
No, my mom is Kaldana. She gives you a weird look, like. Falah speaks up. Yes, I invited my niece to come stay with us. She was fascinated in Sanguine Stone when we talked about it, and she's quite bright. She nods.
At that, Ramiel's eyes just, like, fly the fuck up.
Rhea nods. Yeah, I got the brains in the family. My younger siblings did not.
Ramiel knows quite a bit about your family, don't you, Ramiel?
Oh, let's not start.
Oh,
Please. It's. I think it's interesting to hear about the tales that you know of the whispers and silence.
no, you're Aunt Melody's kid.
Would you look at that? Family. More family.
Ramiel Lores.
The rest. Okay, interesting. Fair enough.
Why did you say it like that?
Well, because that's not Melody's last name, but fair enough.
No, it's I'm adopted.
I can
I'm like-
see that.
I'm from the first.
Oh,
kid to,
right, from the orphanage. Yep.
Evelyn's promise, yes.
Okay. Yep. Sorry. Mom didn't really understand that when Melody tried to explain it, so they just said that you adopted a kid, or that she adopted a kid. Okay. Well, it is nice to meet you properly. I will tell them both that your last name is Lorest, and that they need to pay more attention.
What did they think my last name was?
Of the azure, or of the ivory.
Ivory. I mean, that sort of makes sense.
Except, Kaldana thought it was Melody's daughter, but you know.
Huh. Ramiel just kind of has like a thinking emoji expression on him.
Nova's just gonna turn to Ayla. Isn't it frustrating how so many of these people have, really cool last names, and then there's my mother, Millsmith. What the fuck is that about? Humans are weird.
Well, seeing as your kind frequently names themselves for their professions, I think you lucked out, dear.
Yeah, but isn't that boring?
I suppose I'm just saying it could be worse, yeah?
It could have been. My mother could have just had the last name of motherfucker. That would have probably been more accurate.
Yeah.
This is all in her head.
Yeah. The platform sets down on the ground, and you can see that on the western side of this quarry, heading further into the island, there is an entrance down into the mine. It's built on a slight slope, traveling far more inwards than down, and Falah explains that due to being on the coast, they have to go quite a ways inwards before they can dig without just hitting water immediately. So it's a bit of a walk through here, but moving along, you see people bringing up carts of this beautiful sanguine stone. Every so often, you see a branching off path as they explored, looking for the stone that had been compressed enough. Eventually, you take another elevator down much deeper into the mine shaft and continue walking. Down here, the air is heavier, though Falah doesn't seem to pay it any mind as she leads you on. And as you walk, Ayla, you hear something, like someone had just whispered to you, but too quietly to make it out.
Anyone else just hear whispering?
I mean, I hear
I
it
didn't.
I hear
Fala.
a hunch
Ramiel
in
just
my
kind of like does the Will Smith at Fala.
Aruna, did you talk to Ayla again?
Is she dreaming?
No.
Then no.
Very well. I don't know. You might be going cuckoo. Which we all knew would happen eventually, but sooner than I expected.
Literal
The
whispers
wings
and
for the
silence.
first time, weren't they?
As you continue to move along, you occasionally hear another whisper, Ayla. They're always very quiet, hard to make out. They're not really words, it's just kind of whispering gibberish. Yeah. And eventually, Rhea glances up at you. Are your parents tieflings? She asks.
Mm-hmm.
She nods. That explains it then. You hear it, don't you? The soul whisper.
What now?
What?
It's a phenomena that a lot of the tieflings down here have been experiencing. They describe it as hearing whispers. They believe it's the souls of all Kanans that were lost when the continent was glassed, trapped in the rock. Though there's no scientific evidence, of course, to point to that being true.
The little whispers of gibberish.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, but that doesn't prove that there's souls trapped in the rock. That just proves that tieflings are
Right.
hearing whispering down here.
Right, I just making sure I'm hearing the same thing.
Oh, yeah. No, I hear it too.
Wait, is
so
this
there's
the
Good.
is this the first time we get to
That's-
hear that Ayla is it has a tiefling lineage to her?
I mean, Nova knew, but I don't
Actually,
know.
I was
I
gonna say,
think it is
outside
the
of
first
Nova,
time
I
you've
don't
mentioned it
think
to
I do.
everyone, yeah.
I just realized that. Ah.
That is very interesting for you, Ramiel, because she's also nobility. And that doesn't make any sense, that she has tiefling parents, but she's a noble from Stone's Throw. That's not right.
Ayla, what did you say you were from again?
Harrison?
Well, yeah, and as am I. Where the fucking Terracin?
Stone's throw?
what's going on right now?
Squints.
That's cool. I like Stone's Throw. I went there once. I actually went there on my way to get up to here.
It's where my mother was
That's how-
apparently from.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, she wasn't that special.
Oh.
She left.
That's how you know the fucking song.
The fucking song?
Oh,
Lady, teach me that one.
Aruna is like,
Look.
that is a lie. I told her that song many, many times.
Aruna's calling you a liar, Brayley, but we can talk about that after.
Oh.
What's this about a fucking song?
There's kind of a hymn, I guess, or a theme in the tiefling parts of Stone's Throw. My mom apparently led and his mom led a parade through the streets singing a song once, and it apparently helped.
I mean, it stopped the
You
riot,
Take
so,
all
you know.
that you have, so that her banner may advance. She
Yeah,
won't
that's
care
kinda
who
fun.
fall or live. Yeah, how do you? Huh?
Falal just glances back at you all. If we're done reminiscing.
You were
Just a-
saying there were souls in the rocks?
Falal cuts in. Some people have taken to, yes, saying that there are souls of old Alkanans that were killed when the land was glassed, and their souls remain trapped in the rock.
That's so cool. Brayley's gonna get out her jeweler kit with the chisel and like grab a slab.
Falal pretends not to see.
I don't
Uh,
think that's quite so literal.
Eventually,
Take him with me.
She could sell it for millions.
Falal
Oh.
chuckles. I wish.
I'll help you commit a crime. Let's go. Keep jumping.
Eventually, you all emerge from the mine tunnel and are in a large carved-out room with a couple of buildings in it, likely bunks for people spending more time down here to rest. It is quite a long walk back, and not one you'd probably want to make every day if you don't have to. A small station has been set up with maps and lights at it, and an Uruk woman is standing at it with her arms crossed. Falah walks over, putting a hand on her hip. All right, sis, what's so important I had to come down here on a moment's notice, she asks. Lana glances over and grimaces. We might have a problem, she says. It'll be easier to show you. Come on. And passing through another mine shaft, Lana turns right down a passage and then motions to an open hole in the wall. Falah raises an eyebrow. This isn't where we're supposed to be digging, she says gruffly, and Lana nods. I know. We didn't dig this. It collapsed away during a blast. We were just clearing out some of the rubble to shore it up, and, well, see for yourself. She nods and moves into the passageway. Does anyone else go with her?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. Everyone.
Journeying forward, you pass through a short, naturally formed tunnel, maybe a steam vent of some kind, and then suddenly it all opens up into a massive cavern, maybe a mile across and even further down. And what's surprising is how well lit the cavern is. Bioluminescent fungi and moss crawling down the walls, and deep below you can see what can only be the remains of a city with large buildings still standing down below. Except that as you look closer, you can still make out people moving around down there. Falah stares in shock for a long moment before pulling herself back away from the edge and turning. Oh. Lana nods. Yeah, like I say, a problem.
What is going on exactly?
There's a whole ass living city down there.
Apparently there are people down there on this dead continent. All right, come back to the dig site and we'll talk about this, she says, and starts to lead you all back up. As everyone else is leaving, though, Ayla, that whispering, you hear it again, but so much louder this time. It's as if it's right next to you, and it calls your name.
And Ayla jumps and grabs her ear. Okay, it's one from gibberish. It fucking called my name that time.
They've already started to leave and are on their way back out. And looking over to your right, you can tell that sound is just behind the sand and dirt of the wall here.
Alright, that's a 1 on wisdom, so we're gonna try to find it.
As you scrape away some of the dirt, more of it slides away, and you see at last the source of this whispering. It's a piece of sanguine stone, but it doesn't look like the others. This piece is like a crystal, maybe 1.5 inches thick, 7 inches long, and what's notable is that it's not blood red like the other pieces that you've seen. This one glows blue and has what looks like lightning trapped inside of it, arcing around.
Whoa.
I'm gonna touch it.
It seems to resonate as you touch it.
Who's touching it?
Ayla is.
We're not there.
Okay.
I'm gonna touch the boat.
Yeah, I guess I'll pick it up.
As you grab hold of it and pull it free from the wall, lightning erupts out of the end of it, but it doesn't diffuse anywhere like lightning should. It takes an almost solid form like that of a rope. You may add Lightning Lash dormant to your inventory.
Oh.
You got a fucking whip?
It is a whip.
What
The
the
handle of this
fuck?
whip
Thing.
The handle of this whip is a transparent crystal of sanguine stone within which lightning arcs around. When gripped, a whip of crackling blue lightning erupts out of the end. It's a +1 whip, and it has the ability Spirit of Alcana. The energy of this whip is fueled by the will of the Alcanan people. When you deal damage with this whip, you may add an additional 1d4 of lightning damage. And it also has Child of Storms. While wielding the Lightning Lash, you have resistance to lightning damage.
Oh. So I can still put my rights on this for even more lightning damage, right?
Yes, you can.
Hell
That's
yeah.
the point of it.
And as you start making your way back up to the dig site with your spiffy new whip, that's where we'll wrap up for tonight.